Hi everyone, welcome to NEET Biology channel.
Which of the following combinations guarantees maximum genetic variation? A. Cleistogamy plus autogamy. B. Geitonogamy plus monoecious. C. Xenogamy plus dioecious. D. Chasmogamy plus autogamy. Correct answer is C. Xenogamy plus dioecious. Explanation. Xenogamy involves the transfer of pollen between flowers of different plants, and when it occurs in dioecious species, which have separate male and female individuals, it ensures that the genetic material comes from entirely different genetic backgrounds. This promotes the highest level of genetic variation. In contrast, cleistogamy and autogamy involve self-pollination within closed flowers or the same flower, leading to minimal variation. Geitonogamy occurs between different flowers on the same plant, which may appear as cross-pollination but is genetically equivalent to self-pollination. Chasmogamy only ensures open flowers for pollination, but when combined with autogamy still results in low variation. If self-incompatibility is genetically disabled in a species, what outcome is most likely? A. Reduced seed set. B. Increased hybrid formation. C. Inbreeding and loss of variation. D. No fertilization. Correct answer is C. Inbreeding and loss of variation. Explanation. Self-incompatibility, C, is a genetic mechanism that prevents self-pollination, thereby maintaining genetic diversity by promoting cross-pollination. If C is disabled, the plant becomes capable of accepting its own pollen, which increases the chances of inbreeding. Inbreeding over generations reduces genetic variation due to the repeated union of genetically similar gametes. While hybrid formation increases genetic diversity, it becomes less likely when C is lost. Reduced seed set and no fertilization are not typical consequences of disabling C unless other reproductive barriers exist. What does geitonogamy in monoecious plants functionally resemble? A. Autogamy. B. Xenogamy. C. Chasmogamy. D. Cleistogamy. Correct answer is B. Xenogamy. Explanation. In monoecious plants, geitonogamy is the transfer of pollen from the male flower to a female flower on the same plant. Genetically, it is equivalent to autogamy since both gametes come from the same individual, resulting in limited genetic variation. However, functionally it resembles xenogamy because it involves pollen transfer between two separate flowers, which often requires a pollinating agent such as wind or an insect. Chasmogamy and cleistogamy refer to whether the flowers are open or closed during pollination and are not directly related to whether pollination mimics cross or self-pollination. If a flower has both anthers and stigma mature at different times, which condition does it show? A. Cleistogamy. B. Dichogamy. C. Emasculation. D. Apomixis. Correct answer is B. Dichogamy. Explanation. Dichogamy is the condition where the anthers and stigma of a flower mature at different times, effectively reducing the possibility of self-pollination. This temporal separation can occur as protandry, anther matures first, or protogeny, stigma matures first. Cleistogamy involves flowers that never open and self-pollinate internally, which is the opposite of what dichogamy prevents. Emasculation refers to the manual removal of anthers for hybridization and is an artificial technique, not a natural floral condition. Apomixis involves seed formation without fertilization, bypassing pollination entirely. Which floral trait is least likely to evolve in a bat-pollinated plant? A. Strong scent. B. Nocturnal blooming. C. Sticky pollen. D. Large white flowers. Correct answer is C. Sticky pollen. Explanation. Bat-pollinated flowers, Chiropterophilous flowers, are typically large, dull-colored, often white, and bloom at night since bats are nocturnal. These flowers emit a strong scent to attract bats from a distance. They also offer ample nectar and are structured to facilitate contact with bat bodies during feeding. Sticky pollen is more characteristic of insect-pollinated, entomophilous, flowers, where pollen must adhere to the body of small pollinators. Bats, on the other hand, carry dry or loosely attached pollen that sticks due to body contact and fur texture. Hence, sticky pollen is the least adaptive trait in bat pollination. Which of the following conditions would most likely promote maximum genetic diversity in a plant population? A. High frequency of cleistogamy. B. Predominance of geitonogamy. C. Widespread self-incompatibility. D. Synchronized maturation of anthers and stigmas. Correct option is C. Widespread self-incompatibility. Explanation. Widespread self-incompatibility ensures that a plant cannot fertilize itself with its own pollen, thereby enforcing outbreeding. This condition compels the plant to undergo cross-pollination with genetically different individuals, leading to maximum genetic recombination and diversity in the population. In contrast, cleistogamy, option A, refers to closed flowers where self-pollination is guaranteed, which reduces genetic variation. Geitonogamy, option B, is technically cross-pollination but involves transfer of pollen between different flowers on the same plant, which genetically mimics self-pollination and also reduces diversity. Synchronized maturation of anthers and stigmas, option D, may promote self-pollination rather than cross-pollination, thus limiting genetic diversity. Which floral adaptation is most associated with wind pollination? A. Sticky pollen and nectar-producing glands. B. Brightly colored petals and scent. C. Exposed stamens and feathery stigmas. D. Deep floral tubes and nectar spurs. Correct option is C. Exposed stamens and feathery stigmas.
Explanation. Wind-pollinated flowers are typically small, inconspicuous, and do not produce nectar or scent since they do not need to attract animal pollinators. The most crucial adaptations for wind pollination include exposed stamens that release pollen easily into the air and feathery stigmas that increase the surface area for efficiently trapping airborne pollen. Option A refers to adaptations suited for insect pollination, where sticky pollen adheres to the bodies of pollinators. Option B describes features such as bright colors and scent that are attractive to bees or butterflies, again pointing to animal-mediated pollination. Option D, which includes deep floral tubes and nectar spurs, is characteristic of specialized insect pollinators like butterflies or moths, not wind. In a water-pollinated plant like Vallisneria, pollination occurs when A. Pollen grains are insect-carried into submerged flowers. B. Female flowers release pollen into water. C. Male flowers float on water to reach surface-floating female flowers. D. Both male and female flowers remain submerged and insects assist pollination. Correct option is C. Male flowers float on water to reach surface-floating female flowers.
Explanation. In Vallisneria, a classic example of epihydrophily, surface water pollination, the male flowers detach from the plant and float on the water's surface. They drift with the current and come in contact with the surface-floating female flowers, enabling pollination. This mechanism does not involve insects, ruling out options A and D. Option B is incorrect because it is the male flowers, not the female ones, that release pollen and float. The entire process is passive and depends on water currents for successful pollen transfer. Which condition ensures prevention of both autogamy and geitonogamy? A. Monoecious condition. B. Dioecy. C. Cleistogamy. D. Herkogamy. Correct option is B. Dioecy. Explanation. Dioecy refers to plant species in which individual plants are either male or female, meaning a single plant will have only staminate or only pistillate flowers. This complete physical separation ensures that self-pollination, autogamy, and pollination between flowers of the same plant, geitonogamy, are both impossible. Option A, monoecy, means both male and female flowers are present on the same plant, so geitonogamy can still occur. Cleistogamy, option C, is a mechanism in which flowers never open and always self-pollinate, guaranteeing autogamy. Herkogamy, option D, is a spatial separation of anthers and stigmas within the same flower, which may reduce autogamy but does not necessarily prevent geitonogamy. A flower with deep, tubular corolla and nighttime fragrance is most likely pollinated by A. Bees, B. Bats, C. Butterflies, D. Moths. Correct option is D. Moths. Explanation. Moth-pollinated flowers often exhibit adaptations such as nighttime blooming, a strong sweet fragrance released after dusk, and deep tubular corolla suited for the moth's long proboscis. These traits cater specifically to nocturnal moths. Option A is incorrect because bees are diurnal and prefer open, fragrant, brightly colored flowers during the day. Option B, bats, are nocturnal pollinators too, but they prefer large, fleshy, and usually pale flowers with ample nectar, not deep tubular ones. Option C, butterflies, are also diurnal and are attracted to colorful flowers with accessible nectar during the day, not those adapted to nighttime activity.